Welcome, welcome, ladies, to our little club. We don't have a name for our club yet, but if you have any suggestions, please feel free to put it in the comments down below. Welcome. This club is all about women that are just like us, meaning I don't know how you want to call yourself, a traditional wife, a Stepford wife, a stay-at-home mom, just meaning we are at home taking care of our home and loved ones. And yeah, nothing really, we don't have a job outside of the home. Let me just put it like that. And I wanted this group because, or this club because I'm in need of connecting with women just like me, women who are, traditional wives, who are at home with the children or with your husband, who love to cook, who love, homemaking, beauty, fashion, gardening, baking, all that stuff. Of course, we have friends, we have women in our lives, but maybe these women don't share these same hobbies or interests. I have friends, but we met each other at different walks of life or different phases of my life. Meaning we are friends, we love each other, but we don't share the same interest, and that's okay because maybe those were interests I had years ago, but I don't share these interests anymore. But we remained friends because we appreciate our friendship, we love one another, we shared so many things, and we don't want to lose one another in life. But sometimes you just have to connect with other people who share your same vision or ideals. So I poured myself a nice tea. Oh, you don't see it on camera, but I have my little cup here and I'm gonna pour myself some tea. This is ginger tea, fresh ginger. I love tea, and I have some cake on the side, which I will talk about a little bit later. I'm here. I'm happy that I'm here. And then I said to myself, I want a club. I see this as a club when you bring your children to school, and after you brought them to school, you're gonna hang out with some friends, with some women that share the same things. We talk about our weekends, the things we want to do or achieve. We talk about events coming up, holidays. We share recipes. We share knowledge, wisdom. We talk fears. We talk things that are going on in our life. It's a safe space. It's a place where we can laugh and be free, be ourselves, but also where we support and push one another to greatness, to be the best version of ourselves. I'm really in need of that. I'm at home with my children. I have 4 children. My husband is working, and I love being at home with my children. I love it. But I also want to grow. I also want to talk to like-minded women so that I can become better. Like a mentor, I need guidance because I come from a household where my mother was a single mom. My mother is an immigrant. She is originally from Suriname, and I live in the Netherlands. Suriname was a part of Holland. Dutch people colonized Suriname, and Suriname became independent in 1975, November of 75, Suriname became independent, meaning a lot of people left Suriname and permanently started to live in the Netherlands. It was an easy transition meaning because they spoke Dutch. The Dutch people were the ones that were doing the education system in Suriname. So the transition was quite easy, apart from the weather, the environment, and missing your family. My mother came here with her father and her siblings from her father's side. From her mother's side, nobody came to the Netherlands. My grandmother didn't live here. So I have no grandmother in the Netherlands. I didn't grow up with her. I've seen her maybe twice. My mother's sisters lived in Suriname, so I didn't see them. I don't have a bond with them. My father is from Ghana originally, and he also came here by himself somewhere in the 80s. So he had no family, no siblings. So he was here by himself. So can you imagine being a girl, or being, a girl in the Netherlands, being raised by two immigrants who don't know the system, one who kind of knows the system because it was similar to the one she had at home. But my father was completely and utterly new to the system in the Netherlands. He didn't speak the language. And now I'm growing up with a lack of community. I didn't have grandmothers who were there to tell me how to be a woman or to be a lady, how to take care of yourself, certain family recipes and heirlooms and all the things that I see a lot of women online talking about. My grandmother used to make this recipe and I used to sleep at my grandmother's house and she would teach me all these things. I didn't have that. I also didn't have aunties who could have shared things with me. So being a young girl in the Netherlands, black girl also, in a predominantly white neighborhood, which I didn't face racism or something like that, but you know you are different. You like different things. You go home, you do different things. You eat different things. You experience different things. You party different. And you have no idea how to be a lady or a woman in this society. And you make mistakes. You don't know what you are doing. I don't know if you have the same issues as I was facing. But it was hard. And it became, to be honest, harder when I got older, like the age I am now. Now that I realize how many things I had to miss and figure out because I had nobody to tell me these things. And now that I really crave these things, because I live my life as troubleshoot as you go. And as I go, I figured like, oh, I didn't know that this was normal when you give birth, or this is traditional or cultural, or within marriage, taking care of yourself. I didn't know these things. As a mother who was working and basically surviving, she doesn't have the space to really teach you how to become a lady and what it means and how beautiful and precious it is to be a lady, and that you think differently from a man or a male or masculine energy. My mother was in her masculine energy even though she was a woman. Now that I'm shedding my masculine energy, I see life differently, and I see what I need, and I see what makes me better. I become better once I surround myself with women who are like-minded. I get better when I see beautiful women. It makes me want to push more and do my makeup and be the best version of myself. I don't have that with masculine energy. Having men around doesn't really do anything for me anymore, because I have decided years ago, over 10 years ago, that I wanted to be a traditional wife. It was even longer than that, but at first it was a dream. My dream was, if I decide to be married and have children, I wanted to do it in a traditional manner. Meaning when the children come home, I would bake them pancakes, and I would be there for them. Create a safe space. When I was growing up, I had to go to daycare, which it has its perks. Of course, you're playing, you're learning things, they bringing you stuff, meaning taking you places you can experience, but it's just not the same as being at home in your own environment, being with your mother, having those conversations when you come from school, having an afternoon tea. These things as women, or let me just say, for me, is so important, because that is what I need the most. Just to sit down and to have conversations and to laugh and to bake and to be creative. And these things you don't really do when you are in daycare. I really need femininity. All my life I was in masculine environments, and of course they were creative. You painted, you colored, but the conversations and the way things were dressed, and the cups that you drank from, and flowers, and the tablescaping, it's so important. It's so different from being masculine. Most men, they don't care for these things. Just give them a cup, pour some drink in it, and it's good. It doesn't even matter. They will drink from the faucet. These are men. And growing up, I thought, oh, that's okay. I will drink from the faucet. Look, 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 But now I see how much value it is to just sit down and relax. Drink from a nice cup. Pour tea from a teapot. These little dainty things that are really extra, because you don't need to do it, because you can perfectly drink from a faucet or a plastic cup, but it makes it so special. That makes being a woman so beautiful, because we take care, we acknowledge the details, we really want to make it a celebration every time we do something. At least for me, or for traditional wives, we really want to put that effort in. It's all about, now there's a thing online about slow living, taking it easy, take your time, don't rush. It's the best for me. I stopped working in 2016, and ever since I've been home, and it was the best decision I made for me. I chose that life for me. There was nobody telling me, I want you to stop working, or women should stop working, or it was based upon, what do I want? I don't know how it is for you. I know we are here in a club, and when you have a club, there are different women. I hope we are all traditional wives, but I know everybody goes through something else. You might be a traditional wife, but maybe some of the women that are joining the club have difficulty conceiving children. Some of them are in a bad marriage. They might be in a violent marriage. They might suffer illness, or their children are suffering an illness, or their husband. Things are insecure. They're in uncertain times. There are a lot of women, even in the traditional realm. We are facing a lot of things. Not everything is smooth. Some people deal with financial struggles. Maybe the husband got laid off, or the business isn't thriving anymore, so the income isn't how it used to be, or how your lifestyle used to be. We also deal with a lot of things, and it's different when your husband is working and you are at home. You have to be creative in your thinking. You have to be real spiritual and pray and look for answers so that you can help your family. So I understand there are different women, and there might be different motivations why you decided to be a Stafford wife or a traditional wife. Some people come from religious backgrounds or just illness that they had no choice to stay at home, or mental illness. So I just want us to be kind and embrace one another in this club, because I don't know it all. I'm just learning. Even though I've been at home for a long time, now I'm really motivated and inspired to do more with my creativity and, you know, things that I'm doing. So this is also new for me, and I just want to feel that I have mentors and people who can guide me, and we can guide one another. I just know what I know. I used to be a domestic violence survivor, or I am a domestic violence survivor. I was in an abusive relationship when I was 15 going on 16, and the relationship ended when I was 20 years old. We didn't live together. I was not married to him. We were just young children being in a relationship, and we did not know what we were doing, and I had no business being in that relationship, but I was in the relationship, and I've learned so much. So maybe I can be of service for somebody who's going through that right now. I do not have experience with domestic violence concerning living with somebody, being married to somebody, having children with that person, but I can just share my story, and maybe you can be inspired by it or motivated by it. I can talk about courage. If I look at my life and if I look back, I am somebody who is courageous. I don't follow trends. I don't follow public opinion, which is very hard. It's very hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard to choose you. But I'm so proud of myself that I chose myself, that I chose my life. And by choosing you, you're basically choosing God, because God has a plan for everybody. And my path might not be the path of somebody else. Maybe God put a woman on this earth to work, to be a nurse, to be the great things that, you know, the work field has to offer. But that is not me. I can learn. I went to university, but when I went to university, I was going through so much with my then boyfriend, and I couldn't focus. Also, I wasn't happy because I was studying law, and I loved law. I loved studying law, but I didn't see myself working as a lawyer or in the work field as a person who has a a law background. I just didn't see myself doing that. And I did it for all the wrong reasons. You go to school, you go through, in Holland we call it middelbare school. In English you will say, or in America you have high school, you got middle school, right? I guess. And everybody's talking about, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a flight attendant, or I'm going to be this. And we all have these wild dreams. Nobody says basically, I want to stay at home and take care of my children. I only have one friend of mine who always said, I want to be married and stay at home with my children. I don't know how that worked out for her, because at the time she was just working just like me. We were working at Nielsen Media Research, and everybody else was so ambitious. All the women and girls that I met and who were my friends, we were so ambitious. We wanted to achieve so many things. But then when I was in university, I'm like, this is not me. I like makeup. I like doing hair. I like girly stuff. What am I doing here? Why am I forcing myself to study, to break my brain? Because literally I felt like my brain was fried. It was so much information. I didn't understand what they were asking of me. I was just making the exams and I was just hoping and praying that I passed. I was never confident, like, yes, I got this and I understand what they are wanting from me. I remember when the first day we had to go to school, it was the introduction or to the university. And they said, from now forward, you are lawyers and you have to think like a lawyer. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I just came here thinking as a lawyer. What does that mean? But now I understand what they are saying. It's like, you have to think as the person you are trying to be or that you are becoming. And at the time I didn't understand, and I didn't understand the questions. I had no mentors. I had no guide. My mother wasn't a lawyer. My father wasn't a lawyer. I couldn't come with my questions to anybody. I felt so lost, and I was just so happy when I passed the test. But most of the time I just failed. And at one point I was like, why am I putting myself through this? What is this for? Who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for status? Just to say I went to university and I'm a lawyer? Am I doing this for my parents? Because if I'm doing this for my parents, they don't know what I am going through and what I have to do in order to get this paper, just to say I am a lawyer. And I had a great time in school, but it was not for me to study. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. I met some amazing people, and that was it. I didn't see myself being a lawyer. I didn't feel confident. I felt like I didn't belong. Meaning I didn't feel smart enough. I mean, I heard people like, oh yeah, my dad is a lawyer. And these were people who looked like me and like, my dad is a lawyer and I'm driving a Range Rover. And yeah, he's picking me up from school. And I saw all these people who are just, they had money. They really had their life mapped out. They had great grades. I was like, what am I doing here? And dealing with my then boyfriend, I was like, my life almost ended. He almost killed me. Why would I do something that I don't enjoy when it's my life? This is my life. This is nobody else's life. I have to live this life. And in 2011, I made the decision to leave university. And that's courageous, because you're leaving social economic status. You will become a lawyer. People have lawyers in high regards. People see money, they see wealth, they see power, they see influence, they see a lot of things when you say you are a lawyer or you studied law. And I decided to leave all that. Also being a black woman, and I had so many girls looking up to me, and I didn't even realize. For me, it was like, I'm going to school, I'm going to university. But there were just girls I knew, black girls, who looked up to me and were inspired by me and went and did the same thing, because I didn't come from, in the Netherlands you have a system. You go through elementary school, and then you have to make a big exam, and the exam will decide which level of school you will go to. And then you have VMBO, you have VMBO TL, HAVO, VWO, Atheneum, Gymnasium. Atheneum Gymnasium, that's the highest level. That is the prelude for going to university. With that, you can do anything you want. VMBO is like low level, meaning more working class, nurses, you know, blue collar, stuff like that. I started at that level. Blue collar, being or hairdresser, nurses, social workers. That was my level. But I was so determined to go higher, so I finished that one. Go to HAVO, that's a higher level. Finished that for 2 years. Then went to hogeschool. That's after HAVO, you go to hogeschool. I did that for 1 year, got great grades, and then went to university. So I really made a detour. So that was very admirable for a lot of women. Like, wow, you started at VMBO TL and you're all the way to university. That's not normal. But I did it, and they were inspired by what I've did, and they also followed that same path. But at the time, I couldn't see it. To me, it was just, I'm struggling because I felt like I didn't belong. I'm from VMBO. All these people are from VWO, Atheneum Gymnasium. They are smart. I do not belong here. But they finished. These girls finished. They are lawyers. They're doing great stuff. They have amazing careers. And now I have the audacity to stop and quit university. Imagine that my mother was going like, what the heck is this? Because I think she also felt like I have something to show for her. Of course, she had a great job. She never went to university, she went to college. But it was in my family line, I was, I think, one of the first women to go to university. So to quit that, my mom had really had a hard time accepting that. It took her years to tell people, oh no, she quit, but she can always go back. She's just doing other stuff. And I was like, why don't you tell these people the truth that I've quit university? Why would you keep on lying? But also because it made her feel good, so I understand now. So imagine having this dream of being a traditional wife, never sharing this with anybody, doing what you do. I was working, I was ambitious because I didn't have a husband, I didn't have a boyfriend, so I was like, I have to work. I didn't have a rich father. I didn't have a mother that had a lot of money so that I could stay at home, do nothing, or just do, you know, things we females now like to do as traditional wives, you know, being with our flowers and in the garden, maybe do some horseback riding. I couldn't do that. I had to work, and I was working. I was working 3 jobs. I was working at Nielsen Media Research. I finally said, I don't want to work here just to work here. I don't want to make a career here. So I went to school to become a makeup artist, a certified makeup artist. And I was also tutoring on the side. So I was doing that, and that landed me into becoming a makeup artist and, you know, starting for myself. Then I got an opportunity to become a model or do some modeling jobs. I did that for a while. Well, that didn't turn out how I wanted it to turn out because it became way more complicated, and you was doing all this work and not getting paid, or getting paid inconsistently. But I needed, you know, monthly paycheck. So I went back to work. Now I went back to my old job when I was in high school. I became a maid again. Yes, I was a maid in a hotel for years. That was my side job. That was my first side job, and I've learned so much at that job. It was very tough, that job. It was high demanding because I had 15 rooms, and at one level there were 15 rooms, and that meant there were 30 beds that needed to be made, 15 bathrooms that needed to be cleaned, and you only had 18 minutes per checkout room, and people were messy, people were not clean, people didn't respect maids, meaning when you come into the room, people did the most horrendous stuff and you had to clean it in 18 minutes. But I did, and I've learned so much. I really, learned a lot, learned how to work smart and have a system in order so that you can be successful. And not only was I working as a maid, I was also working in a factory. I was order picking and also doing it was not a factory, it was a warehouse, and also packing orders for customers at a very known big Dutch warehouse, a department store, I'm sorry. And also I was tutoring again. And I think people thought this girl is insane. She was studying law. She became a model. She was quite successful, also a successful makeup artist. All of a sudden you go work as a maid and in a warehouse. Where is her life going? I don't think she knows what she is doing. And then finally I met my now husband, and everything just, for me, fell into place. For other people, it might look like she's crazy because now she stopped working completely, depending on a man who she just met. They are not even married. She's living with him. He is 15 years older than her. What is wrong with her? So, but for me, it felt good. People were scared for me also because they couldn't separate me as a woman from the girl I was, who was in an abusive relationship. So they were so scared, and they couldn't see that I grew, that I changed, that I was strong, that I knew what I was doing. I'm talking so much, my throat. So they didn't understand what I was doing because they were like, this is dangerous. She was in an abusive relationship. Now she's completely trusting a man that she does not know, who is 15 years older than her. I think she completely lost her mind. So I got a lot of pushback. People were scared for me. People were doubting me. They didn't trust me. They thought I was stupid. I was silly. And that's why I say I'm very courageous and very strong, because I didn't cave under pressure. I trusted myself. I trusted God. And I went forward with my life, with my path. And now, over 10 years later, we are talking about traditional wives. And I didn't know this was going to be a thing, that people would make it a lifestyle and it would be, romanticized or criticized online. I've been doing this for so many years, and people have a lot of fears. There's a lot of stigma around it. It became weaponized. It became political. I mean, this is something you have to choose for yourself, because there's a lot of noise out there, and the noise will say you are crazy. And I think a lot of women in this club will share the same experience. This is not something people celebrate. being at home with your family, choosing yourself, choosing your sanity, choosing your dream. This is my dream. I'm living my dream, and I love my dream. I love my life. This is the best thing I could have chosen for myself. I made the choice over 10 years ago, but I'm happy I did so because I'm at peace. I am not stressed. I can fully show up for my family and for myself, to do my makeup, to do my hair, to take pictures, to cook, to do all the things that I truly love. When people say, oh, you don't work, I'm like, I'm doing everything I love. Is that not what it's all about? Or is it all about chasing after money? I don't like to work for money. And it's silly because I understand that you need money in this society to take care of yourself. But I don't like to work for money. I like to love. I love to work from a place of love. I love to bake. That's why I bake. I don't like when people pay me to bake because there becomes a whole different pressure because somebody is paying me money. I just like to give from the kindness of my heart. That is how I am my best. I'm not my best when I get money for something. I just love to go into the kitchen and cook. And if I see I created something beautiful, I love to share that with my friends, family, loved ones, neighbors. This is how I am my best. I don't like to do makeup for money. I've tried it. I did it for years. It became something totally different when I had to take money and people had different demands and they didn't like it, or they wanted to look like a celebrity they idolize. And I'm like, you don't look like this person. I can do my best, but you will never look like that. So I don't like to work for money. And I think there's a group of people who just like to work from a place of love, a place of care, a place of appreciation. But I also have that in me that I want to be the best in what I do. I want to become better in everything I do. Every time I strive to be better than I was the last time. But I understand that by myself I can only go so far. That's why I created this club, because I realized that when I have women, or when I see women online that love what I love, I become better. When I see them baking and creating beautiful things, delicious meals, I'm like, I need to try that. I need to push myself harder. I need to, start creating these beautiful tablescapes. I know I can do it, but I have to have that push, And that's why I created this club, because I was vlogging and I love to vlog, but that is not what I need. I don't need to show my life. That is not what I need. What I need is to connect, to speak, to talk to people who are just like myself. That makes me better. I saw a picture of Cynthia Bailey, I think three weeks ago. It was a behind the scenes pictures of her confessionals for housewives. And I saw that picture, I was like, wow, she is so gorgeous. Her makeup is flawless in this picture. And she had this short pixie cut. I need to do my makeup again. I need to do my makeup how I used to do my makeup. Meaning I need to go full. Just no playing it safe. Not, if you do it, just do it. Go for it. Life is too short to play it safe. And that's what I saw in that moment. She didn't play safe. She came to show out. And it really motivated me to stop playing safe and just to go full. And I'm like, this is good for me. I need this. I need to be confronted with this. When I see food and I'm like, whoa, this is a great meal that these people have put together. For instance, let's say Martha Stewart, when she does her lavish hosting and tablescaping, it intimidates me. I need to be honest, I'm intimidated. But at the same time, I'm motivated to also create these beautiful things. And I know I can do it, and it will push me to greatness. I'm really sometimes scared to share my recipes, not because I want to gatekeep, but to be judged. I'm like, oh, you know, am I really gonna put myself out there? I started last year with sharing some recipes or videos of me cooking on Facebook. But do you know what happened? Even though I was scared, I got so much better with cooking. I started to pay attention to the details, how I plate stuff. I started to think about how I could plate this better, how I could present it better. It just made me better. Even though I was scared and I didn't had beautiful serveware, or I didn't have the knowledge, it pushed me and I started dreaming of how I could do things better. So I'm not afraid of the camera anymore. I just see the camera as my friend, and whatever comes out of this, it will push me to become better. Sometimes you are so in awe of all the things people create online, the vloggers and the influencers, and you're like, oh, they are so great, I could never do that, and they have the best camera, and they have the best makeup, and they have a team, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that they also started from scratch. They didn't start out as great. They worked towards greatness. And same thing with being a traditional. I really want to be that Stepford wife. I want to be picture perfect just because I love it. The nice dresses and being all dressed up, dolled up, and having it perfectly the decor, the home is perfectly. I love that. I just love doing that. And some people might think that is not necessary. It's not, but I just love doing that. So I know I'm not there yet, but I cannot stop recording or stop filming or stop posting because I'm not there yet. I just have to start where I'm at, and that is where you are grateful and you just appreciate what you have and you work with that. And in time you will grow towards greatness. Nobody started out great. You just have your talent, you have your wisdom, you have your qualities, but you have to perfect them. So I already love these things. I love fashion, I love makeup, I love cooking. So I'm already doing these things. I'm not doing something that is outside of me. I'm doing these things. I just want to take it to another level. I want to do the birthday parties at home and have all the decor and the beautiful balloons and the arch and all the beautiful cakes. I'm already doing that. I just want to grow, and I know I have to have great women around me so that I can achieve these goals. Because a lot of people think, oh, you are a traditional wife, and what do you do all day? I do what I love. I just do what I love. I have time. I bought back time by marrying my husband. I put myself in a position that I have time. I have my 24 hours. I don't have to share my 24 hours with a boss or a job. I just have the 24 hours to myself where I can just be creative and learn and read and practice and make mistakes and just do it all over again so that I can become the woman that I really am. But it needs practice, and I need guidance. I need mentors. I need women to talk to, and that's why I'm gonna start a club. I love to write. My husband and I wrote a book a few years ago. Am I the best writer? No. sometimes I'm even scared to write. I'm like, my Dutch isn't that perfect. My English is not perfect at all, but I'm doing it. I'm writing. I'm doing Substack. I'm sharing recipes. I'm writing articles. I'm writing a book. I write every day notes, and I'm like, I need to start upload these things on my Substack, or maybe in the future a blog. I'm doing it, even though I'm not the best. I know I'm not the best. I know I make mistakes. Grammarly, I'm not the best at these things, but I'm learning. But having the right people around me, or I'm being surrounded with the right people, I know I can achieve great things within my niche. Because I don't want to be a career woman or a businesswoman. I love being at home, but sometimes you don't have a choice, or at least things come at your path and you just have to take it. And if I can do it from home, great. If it is within what I love to do, even better. I love to talk. I know I have in all my old report cards, it will all say Debi. She loves to talk. She's great, but she loves to talk. So why not record yourself and just talk to like-minded women? I now see that men, apart from my husband, don't really do it for me. Like I said, they don't care. Men do not care how you look. They just do not. They say that, but it's not true. They can get with any and everybody at any time. Sometimes you're like, he cheated with whom? With her. Look how she looks. Look at his wife. Look at the girl he was with, the one he cheated with. It doesn't make sense, but that is men. They do not care. At the end of the day, if it has a hole, they will stick it in. And you know I'm right. So if you think you're gonna dress up for your husband, no, you do it for yourself. You do it because you love and care about you. I don't believe in dressing up for a man. I do not do that. I dress up for me, and if he loves it, then it's great, but I do it for me. Because a lot of men don't even realize that you have a new lipstick on, that you have a new perfume on, that you cut your hair. They do not care. We women care. We care how we look. We care how we present ourselves. I care when I see beautiful women. I love it. I appreciate it. And it makes me better. It makes me want to be better. I care. So it's better that you dress up for your girls. Dress up for yourself. Dress up for your daughter, so that they can see that you have pride in being a woman. You know, there's also a new layer to my life. I don't have aunties. I don't have, mentors, but I have girls, and I want them to see me at my best. I want them to have that experience that I didn't have. Know that they are surrounded by great women, that they have a legacy within, the female line, and that they have beautiful recipes that they can fall back on. Things they can be proud of, things that we have built together as women. So I really want to dedicate my club to women, traditional wives. We have our own legacy. We have our recipes. We have the things that we do, maybe knitting, sewing clothes. That's also something I really want to do, because I love sewing my own clothes. I want to make my own clothes because I don't want to look for clothes anymore. I have visions in my mind that I just want to do myself. I want to make my own curtains. These things are knowledge that you can pass on to a next generation. It's not only about, oh, I have millions to pass on. No, money is a great thing, but what are you going to do with it if you have nothing to back that money up? Money is only a fuel for maybe an idea that you have that you want to expand. So if you don't have ideas, what do you need money for, except for spending it on materials, which will all fade away? So I really want to, celebrate sewing, cooking, baking, makeup, fashion, decor, writing, things that make us women better. So I'm so grateful for this club. I'm so grateful that you are joining me and other women. And like I said, let's be kind to one another. We don't know what one of us is going through. Hopefully we will find out so that we can share our stories, help one another, connect with one another, you know, comfort one another, because we really need one another. So with that note, every Tuesday and Thursday report back, I will upload at 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. Dutch, is it European Standard Time, Dutch time. Now on to this cake. Last weekend or past weekend was my birthday, and I just did something simple. I did an afternoon tea. My parents came. I invited other friends, but it was a bit late and it wasn't convenient. So I might do another party. And but I loved my afternoon tea, and I made this delicious Fiado cake. It's, for maybe a reference, American restaurant. It's basically a cinnamon bun. Several cinnamon buns put together in a cake, in a baking tray or in a baking pan. But it has rum raisins, it has almonds, it has rum. It's such a delicious cake, and I thought I wanted to share it with you. It's more appropriate for fall, but I thought I'm gonna give it to you now, because this is not a club where we only take from one another. It's a club where we share. So we share recipes, we give, because it's not only about taking. So I'm just extending my first offer by just sharing this cake. Hopefully you will make it in maybe fall time, because for fall this will be an amazing cake. It's something different, because I believe when, as a traditional wife, people come into your home, you should make what you are used to eating. I'm half Ghanaian, I'm half Surinamese, but I grew up on the Surinamese cuisine, and that's what I cook at home. My husband is Surinamese, so that's what I cook. I will not cook something that I'm not familiar with, because at the end of the day, this is what I know. And this is also how people are being introduced to your culture. When I go to my neighbor is Moroccan, I enjoy Moroccan cuisine. I have Moroccan friends. These women were all traditional wives. These are also friends of my mother's, and their daughters are my friends. And when I come to their home or their weddings or their events, I get served traditional Moroccan food, and I love that. I don't expect them to make Surinamese food. I probably wouldn't eat it, because I'm like, what do you know about this? So when you come to my home, or when I share recipes on my channel or my platforms, it will be traditional Surinamese. And this is how you keep the culture and the tradition going. I see a lot of women, especially women with my color, black women online, making Italian dishes, or let me say Italian American dishes, or things, I see white people making jerk chicken, especially in England, or curries. I'm like, you can do it, but that's just not me. I don't feel comfortable cooking people's dishes from other cultures, parts of the world. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm very cautious. I don't want to offend anyone by making stuff. I already feel cautious when I'm making traditional Surinamese food, not to offend people. Like, this is not how we make it. So let's say making food that is from a whole different part of the world, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I'd rather just make my own recipe and come to your home, or come to your event and taste your food. That is how I see it. But sometimes I do, of course I make spaghetti, but I'm not gonna share online that I made spaghetti or lasagna. I'm not gonna share that recipe. I'm just gonna make it how I make it, and my family will enjoy it, but I'm not gonna put that on camera. So I created this cake. So for today, I'm gonna share this recipe with you. I already filmed this, so you will be watching that. For now, the biggest compliment for me is when somebody tells me or compliments me on my cooking. So a few months ago, I don't even think it's a few months ago, last year, I made a special cake for a friend of mine. She's a friend. It's somebody we are introduced through our children. They were at the same playground, and this lady was the mother of one of my daughter's friends, and she's Surinamese, just like my mother. And I wanted to surprise her with a lovely, delicious cake, also because I wanted to practice. And when you practice recipes, sometimes you just have too much food, and also you want opinions from other people who love food to see where you are at with your skills. Is it going well? Do you need to practice some more? But yesterday I saw her daughter. She was bringing her brother to school, and she told me, "Ma'am, that cake," I told my mom, "Can you ask her to make more?" And I told her, "No problem. I'm gonna make you some cake." Also, I'm gonna share this recipe with you, my lovely ladies. And it's a traditional Surinamese cake. It's similar to cinnamon bun. These are cinnamon buns together, and that make one cake, but there's a twist because there's rum in it. Yes, Suriname is in the Caribbean, and you know, we Caribbean people, we love our rum. So we start with a dough. It starts with a dough, and then we add the condiments like the cinnamon, rum raisins, and later when it's finished baking, we will add rum over it. So to get started, let me see where I'm gonna put this camera so you can see what I am doing. First, I have some heavy cream. You can use milk, but I like to use heavy cream, so to make sure the dough is really soft. And to that, we're gonna add yeast, approximately 4 grams of yeast. This is lukewarm. I'm just gonna add it to this because I want to see if the yeast is still alive. It's supposed to be, because this is new, but still, you always want to see if your yeast is alive. I have sifted 250 grams of flour, all-purpose flour, and I'm gonna add some salt, just a pinch, just to balance the sweetness, because I'm gonna mix it all together so that everything is evenly distributed. So to my cream, I'm gonna add butter, and it's softened like room temperature. I left it out all day from yesterday. Once I bought it, I never put it into the fridge. Just gonna mix it in here. I'm going to add a light beaten egg, 2 spoons of bourbon vanilla extract. I'm gonna add my wet ingredients to my dry ingredients. For all the measurements, I will link it on my Substack, and just slowly stir it in. I'm going to stop here and let it rise, or at least for at least 30 minutes, but at least until it's double in size. So for now, I put the dough in a pot, a Dutch oven, over the stove because I have to make my sourdough toast. So the warmth of the oven will provide a nice warm bed for the dough so that it can rise. And yeah, then we will start with the filling, because there's a filling with butter, cinnamon, raisins, rum raisins, and some, ooh, camera fell, and almonds, little pieces of almond. So it's gonna be real good. I hope you are enjoying yourself and learning something. Maybe you are inspired to make your own. This will be perfect for fall season. So if you're not gonna make it now, at least try to test it, practice, so that you can make yourself perfect fiado by the time fall will come, because these things need practice. Don't think that you can make it perfect just by doing it once or the first time. You have to practice. I also practice. Sometimes I fail, sometimes it's perfect, and then I write my recipe down. If I find something that it was really perfect, I write it down, and that will become my benchmark. That will become the standard. And every time I make the recipe, I follow that recipe of that day. So yeah, for now I'm gonna eat something, and I will be back when we're gonna do the filling. So for the butter that will go up on top of the dough, we are using, it's not really melted butter, but kind of melted, so you can spread it more easily. So I'm gonna just whisk it all in, because you also don't want it to be too soft and then it starts dripping. To this we're gonna add, I'm gonna use brown caster sugar. It's a little bit of white normal sugar, and I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So imagine you have the ground cinnamon, the brown sugar, the butter, the rum raisins. Oh Lord, it's gonna be good. Just imagine the scent right now in my house. It's so good. So this we're gonna spread over the dough, and on top we're gonna put shaved almonds and rum raisins. This is our dough. Ooh, it's so nice and fluffy. Oh, really good. I'm just gonna flour my surface and then roll it out and add the other things. So for the last part, I have some milk, or not milk, it's heavy cream with half a teaspoon of cinnamon and sugar, about 2 teaspoons, no, tablespoons. I'm just gonna stir this together, and you would think, why? Well, did I say the milk is, or the cream is warm? We're gonna pour this mixture over these cakes, and this will ensure that it doesn't dry out and it stays nice and moist. And we will repeat this step about 3 times. So before we put it in, we just pour this. So let's put it into the oven. This really tastes amazing. It's so soft, just like bread. But the rum, this is so good. It's not dry at all. It has all the right flavors. The raisins, delicious. I have to write this recipe for you on Substack. It's so good. It's really, I cannot even describe it. It's just heavenly. It's so amazing when you make something and it reminds you of your youth. When I was growing up and my mom used to bring me to traditional Surinamese parties, birthday parties, and they served this, it always was so good. So good. And now that you get older and the people who could make it really, really good, they start falling out because they are dying. You know, it's so unfortunate that the people who can cook so well, the matriarchs of the family, that, you know, they die. And they take their experience and skills with them, and you can never taste cake how they make them because they're not here anymore. So it's my mission to preserve these recipes, to understand how the recipes work, how to make the recipes, so I can, you know, spoil my loved ones with beautiful dishes, beautiful experiences. And this is amazing. It's amazing. I poured myself a cup of tea. I'm going to drink my tea and wait for my husband, and then I'm going to take this cake to my friend's home. It's still warm, I think, and it's very gloomy outside. It's very rainy, even though we are in June. It's gray, it's rainy. So this is an amazing amazing cake for this type of weather. With the rum, it makes you so warm from the inside. It's a rich cake, meaning it has rich flavors. It has the cinnamon, it has the rum, it has caramel, it has butter, it has cream, it has almonds. I love it. So I hope you will try it. I'm gonna enjoy my cake and then I'm head out. I enjoyed talking to you. I just hope you are, you know, as excited as I am to be in this club. We still need to figure out what the name of the club is going to be, but I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that I started this, and I just cannot wait for, you know, the women that will join, and the laughter and love and education we will get from this group of women. Yeah, I will be back on Thursday, 10 a.m. Bring your tea, bring your cups, bring your knowledge, bring your pain, your laughter, your love, your experience. Let's just share it with one another and see where this will go and where this will head to. For now, I have to pick up the children already from school. And yeah, I'm happy that I did it. Yeah, but I'm happy I did it. I'm proud of myself. Like I said, the thing that I admire the most about myself is my courage. Because it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there and just tell the world that you need feminine energy, that you need it, that it fills you up. It's even courageous to say that you are a traditional wife, because like I said, it's such a weaponized thing nowadays. It's scary to say that you are in a marriage with somebody who is 15 years older, or maybe you have people who have a bigger age difference or age gap between them. It's scary because these things are being weaponized nowadays. So I just admire my courage, and I never was this vulnerable with saying that I needed somebody, but I really need women. It's really, you know, I love saying it, but it's very courageous to say that you need somebody and that you need female energy. But if you like it, I always say the best things in life are free. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, because it's free. Liking and subscribing is free. It's just kindness and love and attraction. If you enjoy what you are seeing, that's why you like. So yes, I will see you on Thursday. Have a great day. Go back home to your family. Cook them a good meal. Be kind, take care of yourself, be proud of yourself that you chose to be at home. You know, do what you love, what makes you the best, and come back here on Thursday. I love you, and see you in the next one.